Foundation Portfolio project was one of the most interesting projects in my life. I was able to develop a lot of skills like video recording, editing, location scouting, schedule managing, and other very necessary and important skills for all video directors. It was not easy for me to complete this project because prior to taking AICE Media Studies class, and especially prior to this project, I had almost zero experience in filmmaking. One of the most interesting and not easy things to do part of this project was to do a location scouting. I live in South Florida, and it is one of the most richest places in the United States for different locations. Because tennis is the main theme of my video, I needed to find a tennis court as one of my locations. But while I was working towards it, I found this beautiful and really great location to shoot some of my in-person videos. I live in a community with a lot of different amenities, and tennis courts are one of them. There are two different locations of tennis courts. The first one contains only one court, and the second one contains two courts. As you can see, all the courts are wet, which is not an unusual situation for the South Florida. As you already understand it, rain was one of the biggest problems towards my location, because if it's raining, I can't shoot my video. Another my big problem were cars. They were almost everywhere around, and they were very loud. So I needed to figure out how to manage the situation where I have rain and cars as my problem, which I successfully did. So how does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? So my film will be about tennis, and the whole idea about this film was to promote tennis as a sport. Overall, it is very popular, very intelligent, and very prospect sport. So if you're talking about a challenge, in this movie I would challenge my viewers to go out and try out for tennis. And what social groups or issues are represented is basically all the sportsmen, all the sportswomen who are willing to try something new and interesting. Some equipment parts that I'm using for my video are tennis rackets, tennis balls, extra sweatshirt if something happens to the weather, and I also brought a tripod with me. Most of the content in my video is static because it was all filmed using a tripod. So now, how does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text? So if I'm talking about the engagement with the audiences, my movie has a specific style, which is a slow-mo style. I use this style specifically to emphasize the epicness and speciality of the sport. I will distribute my movie as a real media text by targeted advertisement in social media platforms, maybe offering my movie to some streaming services, and definitely some flyers advertisement. One of the longest and most difficult part of my project was the montaging and editing my video. So how did you integrate technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project? So most of my video was montaged and edited on the computer. For some features, I used my phone, which was very helpful because literally some of them were not in the computer version. I used a montage and editing app called InShot for my project. It was recommended to me by my mom. In this project, I was able to develop some montage and editing skills. Personally, I loved the app because it was very organized and easy to access. Last but not least, how did your production skills develop throughout this project? For the whole time during this project, I used my phone as my camera because I don't have any professional camera at home, and nobody in my family did something like a professional video making before. During the course of the class, my teacher showed me some interesting features that my camera on my iPhone can do. One of the features was the slow-mo regime, which really changed my whole concept of the video. I was also able to develop my acting skills because I was the only one who performed actually in the video, and I'm very proud of especially how well my acting was in the video. I was also never really involved in montaging and editing before, but this project really helped me in developing those skills, which may be very important for my major, which will be computer science. I also developed some skills of using a tripod, which I never had before and which I bought specifically for this project. Now I know how to correctly place it, how to correctly set the height, how to correctly place my phone in it so it will not gonna wiggle, and how to correctly set the coordination on my phone so the image would not be blurry. Last but not least, I'm not the best screenwriter. And before this project, I thought that I would never gonna write any good scripts. But this time, at first I came up with a great idea, which is a storyboard on my Google site is about. It's about a professional player who is one of the top players in the world right now, and I wanted to show the introduction to the movie of like his life, how he got to like where he is right now, his trainings, something about his family and his coach. But then I changed my opinion about how great it will be because I came up with the idea to do a documentary, which is very special and I never did this before. I was able to develop a script where I use slow motion in addition to epicness and speciality to show how great the sport is, and also to be in a documentary format so the fans of documentary movies will also like it. Overall, my production skills went very high. And now, I'm not saying that I am a new Steven Spielberg, but at least I know how to make movies now. Overall, I had a very great time doing this project. I was able to figure out that I can not only be a good director, but I also can be a good actor and a good scriptwriter. I very improved on my recording of the video and my editing of the video throughout this project. I was also able to determine how good of a scriptwriter am I. My main idea evolutionized through my research. I went from comedy to horror to murder mystery to tennis movie, and I ended up doing a documentary about the greatest sport ever. I received a lot of positive emotions and memories that will stick to my brain, and I will remember them till the rest of my life.